shadows started deep. Old Steve sat with his whiskey while the town was fast asleep. He spoke about a bitter war from 30 years ago, of frozen winter trenches and the blinding heavy snow. The bartender named Michael listened closely to the tale while wiping down the counter with a worried wiping flail. He noticed Steve was staring with a heavy, hollow gaze, as if his mind was totally trapped inside that ancient maze. "I'm worried, friend," said Michael as he set a glass right down. "You seem depressed and deeply sad, the grayest man in town. You've told this story 3 times now. Your heart is full of grief, and talking of those battlefields is bringing no relief." Steve let out a loud chuckle and he shook his silver head. "You've got it completely wrong, my boy," the older soldier said. "If I was gonna be depressed, it would have happened then, when I was stuck in mud and ice with all those frightened men. Why would I wait for 30 years through eras bright and grand to suddenly get blue about that distant muddy land? I built a great career since then, I made a massive wealth. I have a happy family, I have my physical health. I've had 3 decades to recover, prosper and succeed. A sudden bout of misery is not at all my need. I simply just remember it, the glory and the pain. It's history, not sadness, running through my aging brain." His buddy was okay, and smiled to know the dark depression hadn't come to stay. "Well, that's a comfort," Michael said, and poured a little more. "I thought the ancient ghosts of war were knocking at your door." But just as Steve stood up to leave, a comical mishap turned all the serious talk into a funny sudden trap. Steve tripped upon his shoelace as he turned to wave goodbye, and stumbled straight into a shelf of pickled eggs and rye. A giant jar of onions tipped and tumbled off the rack, and landed with a soggy splash right down the soldier's back. The brine went dripping down his neck, the onions hit the floor. Steve went sliding backwards through the tavern's swinging door. He landed in the alleyway, a decorated night of pickled vegetables and juice, a truly ridiculous sight. An onion ring was balanced on his ear just like a ring, while Michael laughed so violently he couldn't say a thing. The solemn, serious soldier who had braved the cannon smoke was brought down by a shoelace in a massive public joke. Steve looked down at his sticky coat and let out a loud roar. A bigger laugh than Michael's echoed through the tavern door. The memories of 30 years were totally washed away by 20 pickled onions that had spoiled his display. They swept the alley happily beneath the midnight moon and sang a funny, silly, outdated old soldier's tune. The moral of this story is a lesson old and wise. The past is just a memory,